Live is Sam Rose, Acting Director for the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, or UNRWA. Sam comes to us live from Amman, Jordan. Sam, thanks so much for being with me. Let's get straight into this. I want to kick off with that really shocking number that we've seen reported this week. 800 people have been killed while trying to access food in Gaza. What can you tell us about the conditions on the ground right now, and what are you hearing from doctors working there?
Yeah, look, the conditions on the ground are worse than they've ever been, and there's a certain tragic and horrific and numbing inevitability about this. That the longer it goes on, the worse it will get. And just when we think it can't get any worse, it does. And what we've seen over the past 80 days since the establishment of these aid hubs close to the border and in Netzarim is just another horrific and depraved way of killing people. And if we try and put ourselves in the shoes of the people who are going to these aid sites and getting killed, they're facing impossible choices, as is everyone in Gaza right now. Either they risk starvation for themselves or their families, or in an effort to fend off that starvation, they risk death. Now that is essentially the black and white choice that's facing these people. They know what they're getting themselves into. They know that these sites are not functioning in any way that's fit for human beings to engage with, but situations are so desperate that they have no choice. And if they are injured, they're then going to hospitals that are facing greater numbers of mass casualty incidents, or have done over the past 6 weeks, than in the past 12 months. That's not me. This is the International Committee for the Red Cross. That's what they said yesterday. At the same time that hospitals are deprived of supplies, deprived of anesthetics, deprived of fuel to keep the key critical life-saving infrastructure going inside those hospitals. So that's the daily reality, the daily grind for people right now in Gaza. It's not even existence, it's beneath existence what people are being forced to put up with.
And we are seeing pictures from on the ground there. It looks truly wild. UNRWA's reported there are now only a handful of food distribution points compared to 400 when the UN was leading operations. How has that collapse in access impacted children and families and the medical conditions across Gaza? How are people surviving this?
I mean, that's the question we keep answering. They survive because that's all that they can do, to just keep going in the hope that tomorrow will bring something better. This becomes the most fundamental kind of meaning of life for all people now in Gaza. But as you said, and it's not just the UN, the humanitarian system inside Gaza had a network of about 400 distribution points where people could be received with dignity, with safety. They could be spoken to as human beings. We had methods for ensuring that the most vulnerable were received first. We had systems that the populations were intimately familiar with. They knew how it worked. They knew where to go to if there were any kind of problems, if the supplies available didn't meet their needs. And supplies, we're talking food, we're talking flour, we're talking clothes, we're talking sanitary pads, shampoo, soap, etc. That has been struck off and been replaced with hubs. However many are open on any given day doesn't really matter, but they're minuscule in terms of the numbers, that are forcing people to walk several kilometers through active conflict zones where boxes are dropped on the floor. These centers are open sometimes for no more than 3 or 4 minutes in the middle of the night. Most people come back empty-handed. Many come back wounded. Many do not come back because they've been killed. There is no dignity. There is complete humiliation, and there is total depravity in terms of the conditions that Palestinians are now being forced to accept if they want to get food for their families. And let me also add that one of the issues that was raised by Israel in relation to the inadequacies of the previous system was that aid was getting into the hands of Hamas. There was never any proof garnished or given for any of that. No international journalists allowed in to verify those claims. But I can't see how the current system through these hubs prevents any of that in any way, because what's happening is that young men are being paid by contractors to grab whatever they can, take that aid back to the markets to make money, and then that aid is getting who knows where.
And like I said, we are seeing the desperation on the ground there. Truly, truly sad pictures. Sam Rhodes, thank you for now. I appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot.